Today we are starting with one of the tutorial based on the encryption of the classical algorithms. We have studied those classical algorithms. The first example will go for the Playfair cipher. Say the key is given as the tutorials and we need to go for the encryption of the plaintext. Let the plaintext is hide money. So when we have a hide of money, as we know that whatever is the Playfair cipher is there, we need to arrange the key in the grid pattern. So let this is the grid pattern. Out of this grid pattern, I will give you the idea in what way we need to arrange the key in the grid. So TU, now if the next T is there, you can observe here also. So whenever we are having here the tutorial as the key for the arrangement, T comes, then U comes. Now next is again is the T. But as this is the repetition of the same letter, we are discarding this to fit into the grid. So we are going for the very next letter, that is the O, R, I, A, L, S. Likewise we can have here the tutorials as the key. You can observe with this grid also, which is the tutorials. Now the rest of the grid you can arrange with the remaining letters. Say A is there, but A is already covered, so we'll go for the B and then C, D, and then you can cover up the elements here. Now earlier we have seen that I and J are coming together. Now here as I is the letter already available in your particular key, we are just discarding J. If it comes, then okay, we'll check what will happen. So we are having a slight freedom. So this is the given question to you. Now if the plaintext is hide money, then as I said that earlier, for the Playfair cipher, we are going for the two elements, two letters at a time for the encryption. So hence we are going to have the division of this particular plaintext into the groups of two. So I'll say that HI, DE, MO, NE and Y. But as the last element, that particular string length is odd, we need to go for the make the size even, because we are always working with the even numbers. So we need to have certain pad element. Let Z is the pad element in this particular example. So we are having here say HI, DE, MO, NE, YZ as an entire group. So we'll go for one by one. So first letter or the first group or the first diagram, I'm saying as the in the n-gram element, you are taking two elements together. So it's a diagram. So we are going for the HI. So just check it out in the given grid. So I'll find that H is here and I is here. So according to the earlier convention, as both the elements are in the same column, I'll go for the shifting of the column one step ahead. So I can say that H, or you can just shift into the back side on a reverse manner. So I can say that one step minus is the Q for a H, which is the replacement, you can say, and for I you are having one step minus, which is C. So H and I in together will go for the Q and C. Say we can observe here the letters are given. H and I are in the same column, hence take letter below them to replace. So HI is converted into the QC. Now go for the next couple for your letters DE. So DE, as again these are having or these are lying in the same row, what we'll go for that what is the next letter for this one, we'll have a choice for this one step ahead. You can say that one letter ahead or one letter background of the side, you can just mention it whatever is your consumption. The step size is 1 and the direction for the movement may be left to the right, or you may have the right to the left, but that should be necessarily indicated. So D can have the say replacement as the E, and E is having the replacement as the F. So DE, which is in a couple, I can say that DE is converted into the EF. So in a way HI, DE is converted equivalent to QC E, F. I think you can understand in a very well manner. So as we are having accommodation of the 25 alphabets into a particular grid, and as we are going for the 2 letters together, we discussed already as if it is the 625 possible pairs are there. So in a frequency table, you need to have x-axis element entries x 625. So slightly you can making your monoalphabetic element as if it is somewhat more secure than the earlier one. So actually this is the example of your polyalphabetic. In this case, the poly says that 2 elements are taken together. Now continuing with the earlier example, now with the previous case, we have seen for the HIDE, now we will go for the MO. So for your MO, find out with the same grid itself. So in the same grid, you can find out M is lying here and O is lying here. Now it is unlike your earlier case, these are not in the same column or not even in the same row. So what we will do that, we will just try to find out the enclosing rectangle here, and whichever is the same row of this M and the column of the other element, we will just mark it out here. Similarly, we can mark it out here. So you can use this as the anti-clockwise picking of an element, or you can have here the clockwise picking of your element. Again, this is the pattern what you are going for, the picking of the element. I said that pattern itself is one of the key. What is the convention of picking of your particular element is again secret to the specific user itself. So M and O will go for using of N and U as a replacement. You can find out here MO is replaced by NU itself. So according to whatever is the earlier plain text, what we have used inner together, I can say that HIDE MONEYZ, okay, that can be converted in that particular cipher itself. As I said that always it is going for the even letters, and if we are going for the decryption for the Playfair, we need to use the same grid for the reverse operation. What operations we made, we need to go for the reverse operation. So actually it is giving us some slightly higher security. We need to go for the protection of the important data. Actually important, we will say that not so critical or not so very important data we can use with this particular Playfair cipher. Coming further with your Relfen's cipher. Now suppose I have a plain text here. This is a secret message. In the earlier case also, or in the previous cases also, we have discarded these spaces. We have not gone for the spaces itself. We are considering it's a continuous stream of your letters. Now in your Relfens, now I will go for the, say if rows are 2 which are selected, I will say that the key size is 2. So I will just go for arrangement of your letters. Say you are just making here the shuffling of your letters, you are not substituting. These are the permutations or the what you are saying, shuffling of your particular cipher you are going for. So THIS, you are going for the zigzag pattern for your arrangement, and after having writing down your entire particular plain text, now you need to pick up from the first row left to the right, then come to the next row left to the right. So TIIAE, in a manner you can arrange your particular cipher text. So this plain text will result into the cipher text if key is equal to 2. But if you change the key, that is if the key is 3, that means you are using 3 rows, then THIS is ISA, that means you have arranged here the entire particular plain text, and now pick it up from the first row. After completion, pick by the second row and then the third row. So the cipher comes out TIETSHSS. The same you can find it out here. You may complete the entire string for your cipher itself. In the similar manner, we will go for the Relfens with the key is equal to 4, and so that you can have the multiple options. Even if the idea is known for the Relfens, the particular security or the criticalness is lying in between the choice of your key itself. So as you are keeping your key as the secret one, it's slightly difficult even though the cipher is known or even though the plaintext is known. So it's very critical for the opponent to find out what exactly is your plaintext. Okay. Now we'll move for the next element, which is the one-time pad. I made a comment that one-time pad is providing you the highest security because in this case the size of your plaintext is exactly the size of your key. Both sizes should match, and that's why it is providing you very good security. And the application lies that if you are having a small amount of data and if this is very important, then definitely you need to go for the one-time pad as the encryption method for the utilization purpose. We have seen that earlier that a string can be grouped together with the another string, or it can be converted into the bit patterns, and one of the example we have taken for the XOR as the gate for the having the combination or the making the fusion of your particular bits itself. A slightly different example we'll like to discuss here. Say we are having here the plaintext as the send more money. So with this particular one, what is the size of this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. So we are having total 13 letters and the key is given with the stream. Of course it's a digital stream and the decimal numbers are given in the stream. So again you are having total 13 digits or rather 13 numbers are there which can be used as the key, and it is asked that go for having the encryption for this plaintext with this key. So how we need to go for? There is one of the solution. For example, we are arranging our plaintext in a manner send more money, and we need to have the as your key is given in your decimal format. One of the idea is that you can replace your particular plaintext into the decimal numbers. So it is the 18th position if you are starting from the position as the 0 to 25 for your A to Z. It is having the 4th position, and likewise you can have the arrangement of your elements. The positions are taken into the account, and then you are having the arrangement of your key here, and then go for the addition of your plaintext and the say your key itself. Now addition, when I say addition, the addition itself is again one of the cryptographic function. Rather than addition, you can use any of the other function, and that's why the revealing of that particular key and even from the cipher the plaintext may not be possible because opponent hardly knows about the function what you are using. So 18 plus 9, how much it is going for? It is going for as the 27, and of course we are having here the clock operation, so you need to go for the mod of 26. So 27 mod of 26 will give you result as the 1, and the 1 result goes for the element as the B. So you can say that S, which is the plaintext, is converted to the cipher as the B. So as E is there, which is having the numerical value, positional value as the 4, which is going to have the encryption with the key value as a 0, which remains as the same one. So this E is remained as the E itself, and in a similar fashion you can continue further to find out the cipher itself. Now when we talk about for your one-time pad, we can say that the shift cipher earlier what we have seen that the entire message could have shift between 1 to 25. So you can have a shift of 1 or shift of 2, or you can say that for your Caesar you are taken by default as a shift of your 3. So it's very easy for the brute force attack. But in your one-time pad or one-time password, whichever you would like to go for the mentioning of this one, I can say that each character, each letter is having its own individual shift between 1 to 26. So you can say that there are 26 options for the first word, 26 options for the second word, and in that way you can proceed further. For example, I would like to go for the plaintext which is taken as the Walchen. Say Walchen is the plaintext. So it is having a size of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 characters are there. So for the W you are having 26 possible options for the key. Then again for A you are having 26 possible operations or other choices are there or shifts are there. For L, you are having 26 possible shifts are there. So in together, as the size of your say Walchen is 8, I would like to say that 26 raised to 8, which is the total number of key space you are having with your option. So that is equivalent to these many. So you can see that how many keys or how many shifts, possible shifts are allowed for you. So a single Walchen plaintext can get converted with these many alternatives. These many options are there. So for you can say that for a longer message which is having the size greater than this one, again the competition grows in an exponential way. The exponential is very important because it is giving you a very say different curve. Instead of having a linear curve, you are having some exponential curve in your particular diagram, and as you are going for the additional alphabet, it is going to increase again and again. And so that I would like to go for making a comment that it's very hard to break with this particular one-time pad with the brute force attack. You can have your own exercise with this particular example or few other examples as well. Now, I would like to continue one-time pad with another option as the two-time pad. So, have you heard about the two-time pad? No, we have taken this for the say experimental purpose. So, TTP, if it is used, we need to find out whether the security lies with the TTP option. We need to just compromise with the password, or we need to compromise with the key here. So, I'll say that let M1 and M2 are two message samples, and these are just given with the XOR option. This is the symbol of the XOR, and with the key is there. The key is kept as the same one, K and K is there. PRG is the indication for the pseudo random generator, because we need to go for the key as the pseudo random key. There are certain generators which gives you some generations of the key. Why I am saying as the pseudo random? Because these are not the true random. There are two categories. We may have certain discussion afterwards. So far in your security algorithm, you are going for the functions which are the pseudo random functions only. So with the same key, if you are having two samples of your plaintext, definitely with this particular example, you are having the first sample of your cipher and the another sample of your cipher itself. Now, if these two samples of your ciphers are known to the opponent, then possibly there is an idea for the opponent that opponent can go for the XORing of these two ciphers. So can you give me the idea what will be the answer for these two XOR? So if C1 is XORed with C2, what should be the answer? Can you please guess? Yes, the guessing is there that once you go for the say C1 XORed with the C2, it will give me the XORing of the M1 to M2. So likewise, it will go for the revealing of the M1 XORed X2 or M1 XORed M2, and I can say that this is one of the differential attack. So one sample and another sample, if you are having two samples together and find out the probable difference out of this one, then go for the another two samples, find out the probable difference again, and try to minimize the difference or the probability of the guessing. And once you reach to the probability as the zero, actually zero probability of the finding is a very ideal condition, but somewhere you can reach to somewhere as the zero, and in that case you may have certain revealing of your messages in a pattern M1, M2, M3, M4 or Mi as the sample with you. So I can say that this may be some known ciphertext attack, or it may be some known plaintext attack, or it may be the combination of the known ciphertext and known plaintext attack. So in all, we can make a comment that if two-time pad is taken, then definitely this two-time pad is not secure concern. Now again, concentrating with the mod operation. Actually in this cryptographic algorithm, we have taken mod operation very as the major operation, because many of the algorithms we tried to solve with the mod of this one. As we discussed that it's a clock arithmetic, a slight observation is there. Suppose I have 6 plus 8, obviously 6 plus 6, that is 6 plus 8 is the 14. And if you go for the mod of 12, then it is going for the result as that it is equivalent to 2 mod 12. In the same fashion, you can have the 12 plus 5, which is the 17. So again it is equivalent to 5 mod 12. So you can say that this is the circular fashion, or this is the circular style while writing down this particular mod operation. So we can say that this mod operation we are taking for your say cardinality of your set is 26, because you are taking the 26 letters are there in your particular operation purpose. So we need to go for the one-to-one operation, that is the reversible operation is there, and there is correspondence is one of the mathematical term that correspondence is required to have a specific relation, which is the unique relation to integer numbers starting from any say count itself. If you are having the step size as the 1, and if you are able to maintain one-to-one relation, then it is called as the correspondence relation. You may refer some literature for finding out the correspondence. So of course for your scissor cipher, shifting a letter to the right by 3, which is the default key, which I am saying as the again and again, is the same that you are adding 3 and you are going for the modulo 26 as the arithmetic. So we'll have here certain exercise for your mod operation. If I ask you to fill in the blanks here with this question mark, what will be the answer? Say 19 plus 3, which is equivalent to 19 is the say 20, 21 and 22. So it is equivalent to your 22 mod of 26. So that is obviously is equal to your 22 again. If you are going for the 13 plus 20, how much it is going for? So it is going for the 33, and 33 mod of 26 gives you 7, and so as you are going for certain say calculations, you can say that 13 multiplied by 4, say how much it is going for, and the answer is, you can say that it is divisible by 26, and that's why the answer is 0. So this is actually is a non-usual case whenever you are going for the two non-zero elements with the multiplication and the result of this as is equal to 0. So I would like to go for certain peculiar phenomena which are existing in your modulo arithmetic. We have already seen that if non-zero multiplied by non-zero is there, this was the example, which is going to have here as the result is the 0, because 4 nines are, which is totally divisible by 12, so the result is 0, and this is the unusual condition what we are observing. The second condition is that if we need to find out some multiplicative inverse is there, not necessary that multiplicative inverse is always available, because cannot find the integer x such that 4 of multiplied by x, which is giving you the result, because all the time it is not possible. 4 inverse does not exist with the mod of 12, because we need to go for certain necessary condition that if the GCD of the both of the elements are equal to 1, that is if these two are the prime numbers, these are the relatively prime numbers, then definitely we are able to find out the multiplicative inverse. Otherwise we are not able to go for. So whenever we need to go for the fraction finding in the arithmetic, in mod 12, okay, we are not able to write down 1 by 3 or the 3 inverse, because 3 inverse is not existing, we have seen that. But if we go for the existence of the 5 inverse, so for example 5 multiplied by something years, and if you are going for the mod of 12, so if we are going for the 5 and 12, these are actually relatively prime. So I can have made the comment that multiplicative inverses are available if and only if the GCD of both the numbers are 1. So in that way we can have here the multiplicative inverse is existing in this particular example. Now if we are going for the finding out this is actually the another example. I would like to go for finding out, ask you to find out some cryptographic function. Suppose the question is that if A is replaced by Z, the second letter B is replaced by Y, in the third way C is replaced by say X, that means you are having the one is left to the right movement, and in the other way you are having right to the left movement. So I want you to just give me some substitution formula or the function for this one. Can you guess what will be the function for this one? We are actually knowing the answer, in what way we can have the replacement. But if any mathematical function is to be given, in what way we can give the mathematical function. So as simple this particular exercise is to find out the function itself. So I'll help you. So if A is replaced by X, B is replaced by Y, and C is replaced by X, we'll try to find out the positions of the elements. So A is having the position 0, B is having position 1. So in a way, if the position we can take 25 is the highest position, minus the position of your plain text. I will say that PT is the position of your plain text. Then 25 minus 0 gives me the 25. So I will say that 0th position element A is having the ciphertext position as the Z, or you can go for your Z as the ciphertext. Likewise, position of your B is 1. So I will go for the finding out the ciphertext as the Y. So B is replaced to Y. So as C is replaced to X here. So in a similar fashion you can find out. So ultimately I will say that N is having the position 13, where you can have a cross check here. So 13, if it is made, so you will have the 25 minus 13, then 12th position you can find it out here for your element as the M. So you can say that N is converted to the cipher as the M. So in that way you can have here the equation, the position of the ciphertext can be found as if it is the 25 minus position of the plain text. Why 25? Actually the 25 is the highest position for your particular plain text, and that's why you have taken out here. It is not 26, it is 25. You are going for the positions from the 0 to 25. Though the cardinality is 26, you are having the position difference here, and that's why you need to have a slight difference for making the position of your plain text and indication of it. Now in a class, we have seen Caesar cipher and affine Caesar cipher also. Affine Caesar cipher is defined as if it is the Ax plus B mod of M, where you can say that X and Y are the numerical values of the letters in the plain text and the ciphertext. So X is the plain text, Y is the ciphertext, A and B may be two integers, of course M also is the integer, and in that way you can just increase the security of the Caesar cipher. So you can have here the higher security provided by the affine Caesar cipher. Actually it again gives you certain equations because it going for the application of multiplication and the addition. So in a way it is making a bit complicated than the earlier one. We need to go for some of the example. So in the affine Caesar cipher, suppose cipher is congruent with the Ax plus B mod of 26. Why I am saying as the congruent? Because if I go for only equality, then only one cipher is possible, we may understand. We may have the combination of A and B, which will give you the multiple ciphers from the same plain text itself. Now this is again the very important idea what we need to discuss, that even if some guessing is there by opponent, it should be very hard that what exactly is the cipher, because you need to have the multiple ciphers together, and out of this you need to pick up the correct cipher again itself. So that analysis we can have in some further sessions. So rewriting this equation, y is having the congruence for the Ax plus B mod of 26, we can say, we can rewrite here as the equation here, y minus b, that is congruent for the Ax mod of 26. So or equivalently you can have this format also. So whenever we will go for the decryption, that is the encryption inverse, that is another style for the writing purpose. So you can write down here in that equational style. Okay, so you will agree with this one. Just have a look with this slide say pay some attention with this particular slide. So if we are having the decryption or the deciphering of some string is given to you, and suppose some function is given to you for the deciphering purpose, that function itself is given as if it is the encryption function for you. So f of x plus 8 mod of 26 is the encryption function for the plain text x is given. Now we begin by finding the decipherment function. Since phi of x is congruent to 1 mod of 26, we have seen some multiplicative inverses and we have gone for the relative primeness for the 5 and 26. So with this we can rewrite here that x is congruent for the 21 mod of 26, as we see that 5 inverse is available and that can be equivalent to 21 itself. So this is actually the lowest integer. So in a way we can have the writing of the equation. So if the cipher is given here, in a way the cipher is written down as if it is in the tabular form. So what will be the y value? You can solve the equation. Solve the equation for y minus 8, or even 21 multiplied by y minus 8, and then you can go for the rounding it with the mod of 26, and so that you can find out the plain text again. So HPCCXAQ is converted again back to the plain text as the freedom as the keyword, okay, or this is the plain text for you. Now we'll go further with the having summary of your valid affine CIFARs. In your particular lecturing, you found that what are the possible options for your A and B values. So whenever we are having AX plus B, we can say that valid affine CIFARs or the values of A's are there. If A is relatively prime to 26, then only we can have the option A as the valid one. For example, we discussed that the valid options for A are given in that way because these are having certain factors with 26 itself, which are having some common factors, we can say. And in that way, the 13 is the value we should not pick up, or it is not actually the valid value because 13 and 26 are not relatively prime. So we should not have the choice for this one. So out of these particular total 13 possibilities of your A, only 12 possibilities are valid because we have discarded 13. So you can say that if 12 choices are there for A, and what are the choices for B? Because B you can take all values from 0 to 25. So you can say that total choices for A as the 12 and total choices for B as 26. So you are having 312 possible valid affine CIFARs are available. See what is the scope for the given single mathematical function. So you can note it down in what way the solution can be obtained. So if you go for certain analysis, so if you are having some plain text X is there, or even some A and B values are given for this one, not with a single equation or not with a single CIFAR you can have the solution, but if you are having the more than one CIFAR, so obviously you can have two linear equations are there, and with this solution of these two linear equations, possibly you may have the finding of your X and Y values, or you can have certain guessing. But actually again the guessing is difficult rather than your Caesar CIFAR, and these are involving again some linear equations. So you may say that this can be the part of your linear cryptography, which is one of the research area of your cryptographic algorithms. As there is some linear cryptography, you are having some non-linear cryptography again. Obviously, non-linear cryptography is providing higher security than your linear cryptography. So, what we discussed earlier, I would like to continue with one example. Suppose CIFAR is congruent for the 21P plus 17. So, P is taken as the plain text P, and I want to go for the decryption formula, finding out the decryption formula. So writing down this particular equation in a form, C is congruent to 21P, instead I have written down as the minus 5P. Why minus 5? I have just gone for the minus 26 in both the numbers. So 21 comes out as the minus 5 and 17 comes out as the minus 9. So it is giving me as the same equation. It is said so be. And since 5 and minus 5 is in the short list for our discussion, we can use 5 and minus 5 are the inverses, additive inverses, rather multiplicative inverses. In what way you want, you can have your choices. So you can rewrite the equation here and you can find out your plain text by just rearranging your equation. P is congruent to 5 of C plus 45 mod of 26. So with this equation, which is written down for your finding out the CIFAR, the decryption function you can find out here, which is going hand in hand for the earlier equation, so that you are able to find out the plain text with this particular solution. So I can say that this is the end of your classical encryption techniques and some basic part of your tutorial. The advanced tutorial or some other part of your tutorial we may continue. And actually these classical encryptions are very important because these are the building blocks of your modern cryptographic functions.